Hello and welcome to our first HTML coding assignment where we're going to not use the tools of Dreamweaver, but we're just going to use Dreamweaver in code view, and then every once in a while we're going to look at it in split view. This is a final version of what you're going to do in the HTML part. We're going to add some CSS to it later to style it, but right now what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to put in some headings. So these headings, this is an H1, this is an H2. We are going to ask you to put in a paragraph here. We have a paragraph here. We're going to ask you to put in a couple links. We're going to teach you how to do a bulleted list and a numbered list. We're going to teach you how to put in 3 simple rows, one being simple 3x3, one being a 3x3, which is a call span. You'll notice that this one is spanned across 3 columns, and then a row span where it is spanned across the 3 rows. Then we're going to insert a picture, and this looks like a table, but it's actually a picture of the assignment that you did last, where you had to just look up these simple HTML codes on the internet, figure out what the tag is for it, and give a description of what it does. I obviously didn't finish it because I want you to research that and find out yourself. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go File, New, and you're going to just choose a blank page, and it's going to be HTML. And you'll notice you've already done the setup for your website, so it's going to be here. And we're going to save it as HTML. So I'm going to go Create. And again, we're going to be looking at this in the code view. The first thing you're going to then do is I'm going to go File, Save As, and you're going to call it all caps HTML. Now, I've already done mine, so this for the movie I have to do a second one, so I'm going to call mine HTML2, and it is going to put an HTML code on the end of it. You'll notice it says HTML in all caps, .html. Mine's going to be called HTML2. All right, the first thing we're going to do is talk about these tags. So the HTML tag starts it, okay, and it sits inside angle brackets. This stuff here is just that it's using standard W3 code. So don't worry about that. It would work just fine without that. You don't have to put this in. Now the head is where we put the title. So the title goes here, and I'm going to change mine to Mr. V's portfolio site. That's what I'll do on all my pages. And that all sits inside the head. There are multiple things that sit inside the head, but for now, that's all you need to know. And again, the / says that we're closing the head. Now we're going to start inside the body. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start by putting in a heading 1. So I'm going to go angle bracket, H1, angle bracket. And what's really nice, if you put in another angle bracket and a /, it'll automatically fill it for you. Now inside here, I'm just going to say Mr. V's HTML page. I'm going to go Control S. And now let's look at it in design view. There's my heading 1. Okay, let's go back to code view. Underneath there, I'm going to hit enter. We're going to tell ourselves a few things about each other. So I'm going to put in a numbered list. And so a numbered list, but before we do the numbered list, we're going to do another heading. But this time I'm going to do H2. So it's like a subheading, a little smaller. It goes all the way from H1 to, I believe, H6. And I'm going to say my favorite sports. And again, angle bracket / will finish it for you, which is really nice. Then I'm going to hit enter. I can go to my design view, and you can see now I've got a subheading. So I'm going to go back to my code. I'm going to start with a numbered list of my favorite sports. So a numbered list is OL. And then each list has to have an angle bracket LI for a list. And then I'm going to do angle bracket /, And I'm going to put in probably 5 sports. So I'm going to go Control C with a list and a closing list tag. And I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go Control V, Control V, Control V. Probably should hit enter in between each time, would have been better. And I believe that's 5. Now, in between the two opening and closing LI tags, I am now going to put in my favorite sports. So I'm going to say basketball, kite surfing, and then I'm going to go skiing, mountain biking. Now, you don't have to do your favorite sports. You can make a list about yourself about anything. So I got mountain biking, and I'm going to say volleyball. I need to close the actual OL tag. So I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go angle bracket / and automatically it fills it in for you. Pretty awesome. Besides sports, I got a lot of other things I'm interested in. So for this one, we're going to do another list. So I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to copy H2 all the way to the end of the / OL, Control C, and I'm going to hit enter and Control V. And above that, I'm going to do an angle bracket H2, angle bracket, my favorite activities, not sporting related. So other things I'm interested in. And then I'm going to go angle bracket / and it closes the H2 for me. So I'm just going to go Control S and let's have a quick look at what it looks like. So I'm going to go to the design view. It says my favorite sports, basketball, kite surfing, volleyball. Now I'm going to do my favorite sports, but I didn't want this to be in a numbered list. I wanted it to be in a bulleted list. So let's go back to our code, and all you have to do is change OL to UL. But I got to make sure I do it on the beginning and the front. So then I'm going to go Control S, look at my design view, and now you see I've got myself a nice little bulleted list. So now let's go back to code view, and I'm going to change basketball to guitar and graphic design and programming and math. And then I think that's enough on my list, so I'm just going to get rid of that last one. And I'm going to go Control S and back to my design view, and you can see it worked. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a table, a simple table. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my code view. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go angle bracket table, angle bracket. Then I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go angle bracket TR for table row. And I'm going to go angle bracket TD, angle bracket, and then I'm going to go angle bracket / TD. Now, I didn't put in a heading, so I'm going to jump above it, and I'm going to put in another H2, angle bracket H2, angle bracket, and I'm going to say simple 3 by 3 table. Angle bracket / closes the H2 for me. Then that means table row. If it's a 3 by 3, I need 3 cells, and that's what the TDs are. So I'm going to go Control C, enter, Control V, enter, Control V. And so this is one whole row. So I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to go angle bracket / and close the row. Then I'm going to go Control C, enter, Control V, enter, Control V, enter, and then angle bracket / and it closes the table for me. So I've got one row with 3 cells in it, second row with 3 cells in it, third row with 3 cells in it, close the table. And I got a heading, Control S, and then I'm going to go to my design view, and you really can't see anything. And my table's super small. So we're going to make a couple little adjustments to my code. So let's go back to code. I'm going to go to the start of the table. I'm going to leave a space, and I'm going to go width equals quotation mark, and I'm going to say 800 quotation mark space, and I'm going to say border equals quotation mark 1 quotation mark. Let's refresh that, or Control S, and I'm going to go to my design view. And now you can still see my table, but the problem is there's nothing in it. So it doesn't really show it properly because, HTML doesn't like it when there's nothing in it. So I am going to go back to my code view, and I'm going to start labeling these. So this one must be the first row hyphen left cell. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go Control C and Control V, and I'm going to change left to middle. And then I'm going to go Control V, and I'm going to change left to right. Control S, let's check our design, and you're starting to see it. I'm going to go back to my code view, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to grab my whole table row, and I'm going to go Control C, grab over top of that one, go Control V, grab over top of that one, and go Control V. Now this one must be my second. Control S. Let's look at my design view. First row, left cell, first row, middle cell. First row, it's told that it's 800 pixels wide, and it has, you can see it has a border. All right, let's make some fancier tables now. I'm going to go back into my code view. I'm going to grab my whole table, including the heading, because again, I'm kind of lazy. We want to work smarter, not harder. And I'm going to go Control V. And we're going to change the title from simple 3x3. So we're going to change it to column span 3x3 table. So column span means, if I look at this old one, we're going to have one cell in the first row, just one cell that spans all 3 columns. So we actually need one cell in the first row. Let's go back into HTML, and we're going to look at our code, and we're going to go into the very first cell, and I'm going to say col span equals quotation mark 3 quotation mark. And instead, we're going to say only only one cell in the first row that spans all 3 columns. So we actually now have to delete those. And we told it to span it by saying col span equals 3 with a little space between the TD. And Control S. Again, let's work smarter, not harder. Control C. I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to hit Enter again. I'm going to go Control V. And this time we're going to say row span 3x3 table. What we want to do, and I'm just going to let you have a look at this one, is we want the whole first column to actually just be one cell. So in the first row, there's one cell, 2 cells, 3 cells. Second row, there's only 1 and 2 cells, 1 and 2 cells. So let's go back into my HTML3 code, and we said there's 3. So this is going to be row span equals quotation mark 3 quotation mark. So in the first row there's still 3, but now we're going to delete that cell, and we're going to delete that cell in the third row. Control S. And let's again check our work. Did it work? That's excellent. In the last HTML assignment, you had to make a Microsoft Word table where we filled everything. Then you were supposed to take a screen print with function print screen on your keyboard, paste it into a Photoshop, and then crop out everything except for the table. So I've already done that, and I've got a html-tags.jpg saved in my media folder. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do, in the code view, I hit enter, so it gave me a paragraph tag, but I'm actually going to get rid of that. I want an H2 again, angle bracket, and I'm going to say common HTML5 tags, angle bracket, / and it closes that H2 for me. And here is where I'm going to drop in an image tag, angle bracket, img space src for image source equals quotation marks again. This gets a bit tricky because we got to tell it where it is. And normally we would just put in HTML tags, but it's in the media folder, so we got to type media. Media / HTML hyphen tags.jpg. And then I got to close the quotation mark. And then I close the angle bracket. Then I'm going to go Control S, and let's see what it looks like. So now we've got our titles, common HTML5 tags, and I've got in our picture. Yours should be all filled out, obviously. Now, from there, we're going to put in a couple links now. So let's go back to our code. We're going to go right up to the top. We're inside our body. We are underneath Mr. V's HTML page, and I am going to put in a link. And my link is an href link. So it starts actually with an angle bracket and a space h ref. Then I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to do quotation mark, and I want to link to our home page. So I'm just going to call it index.html, and you'll notice we have an index down here. I'm going to close the quotation marks, and then I'm going to close the angle bracket, and then I'm going to give it something to find. So I'm going to do capital, all caps with home, and then I'm going to do an angle bracket / a. So that should find me my index page, right? Then I'm going to put in a second link. So work smarter, not harder. I go Control C, and you have to make one link to an outside website, so not something in your website. So I'm going to say my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be smart. I'm going to head to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to copy the address to my YouTube channel. I'm going to go back to my Dreamweaver, and instead of index.html, I'm going to paste that in there. Control S. Look at my design view. Here I have a bit of a problem. They're zoomed together. So I'm going to go back into my code, and I am going to put in a paragraph tag there. I'm going to close my paragraph tag, and then I'm going to put in another paragraph tag, and then I'm going to close my paragraph tag. Control S. Go back to my design view, and now I've got two separate links. I've got a picture, I've got 3 different cells on, I've got 2 different types of lists, and I have learned an awful lot about HTML in about an hour. Let's give a quick look of what it looks like, and I'm going to say preview. So anytime you want to preview it, because these links aren't going to work here in Design or Split or anything. So I'm going to go Design in Google Chrome, and then I'm going to click on my home page. And so far I've done nothing on my home page, but it worked. That went to my home page. I'm going to say back, and then I'm going to click on my YouTube channel, and it went to my YouTube channel. That is how you do your first HTML page. Thanks for watching.